Folks, welcome to a very special segment on a very special Slick Saturday. We're here watching UFC 269, the last pay-per-view of the year. We're about to have the third final fight of the night. I'm joined by Ty B. How you feeling, Ty B?
I mean, it's been a great night thus far. We've been watching all the fights together. And I mean, the main card has delivered thus far big knockouts from Sean O'Malley. O'Malley! Shout out Snoop Dogg. I wish he was on the call for that one. And then a big win for an up and comer Kara France over Cody Garbrandt. Won both of us kind
No
of
doubt.
predicted. Thought it was going to be a little closer, but holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, you and I both thought that fight was for sure going the distance. And Kara France really had something to say about that. Um, it's tough to see Cody take another loss like that. I'm not his biggest fan.
Starting to pile up for now.
It is tough, yeah. But here we have Jeff Neal and Ponzinibbio. What do you think going into this one initially?
I mean, the big thing obviously is the entire story surrounding Jeff Neal and everything going on with him, like getting a DUI charge within the past few
Right.
weeks.
Yeah, wasn't that
And
7 days
it
ago?
was, yeah, like, I mean, I think it came out a few days ago, but it was like a few days before that it actually happened. But yeah, how, like, how ready are you to perform after getting like a D dub
Yeah,
and a gun charge? It wasn't even just a D dub. So I have no idea what the hell they're doing. Like, it makes absolutely no sense. And
yeah,
like, to
100%.
keep him in the fight, number one, like with all this going on, is
And we have
crazy. And then to think, well, it's like you got to also think like the dude's been getting hammered and driving around with guns in his car. How much has he
right.
been really training for this fight?
And we're not talking like this is a month ago. Like this is a week before the fight.
Hmm.
How much camp is he really doing, right? And
Absolutely.
to the UFC, like letting him fight, bro. He was in the press conference saying like, "It's not like it was that bad. It's not like it was I was wasted off my ass." Like, buddy, you got charged with DWI like a week ago, and now you're fighting at the T-Mobile Arena. Oh man, um, not the first time we've seen something like that in UFC, but
It's not surprising, I guess, because of the things we've seen, like in the past and everything from the UFC in general. I mean, you think of like John Jones, especially, is like the number one guy who kind of comes to mind on that, just because of everything that's kind of gone wrong surrounding him and getting all these second chances. But like when you're a money making entity like the UFC is, and you have money making guys who go out like it's tough to not justify bringing them back in the octagon at some point. Once they've sort of paid their dues to society and whatever punishments have been rained down upon them. But I'm just excited here for Bruce Buffer getting this fight here ready.
yeah, absolutely. Like every time Bruce Buffer's fired up, I'm ready to run through a brick wall, and I'm sure these fighters are. Like, imagine being in the octagon with him, like announcing your name to your face like that. Oh my god! Here we have Jeff Hands of Steel Neal, fresh off the D Dub. Let's see what he can do against this Argentinian beast. Who do you got before this thing? Before this
Um, Honestly, going into it, I probably would have took Jeff Neal, but because of everything, that's got me probably flip flopped over to Ponzinibbio, and I think Neal was a bigger favorite, and he's down to a pick 'em now, so that kind of makes sense. I think that's sort of where the general heads are of most mixed martial artist fans. It's just like I said, like you got to think about the dedication to training. Once you get into those last 2 weeks, it's all about being fight ready. Like you're trying to limit injuries, you're trying to start, to look at that weight cut and everything. And drinking is not what you want to do to start getting you back to where you need to be for fight shape. That's
not
all I gotta say.
part of
Like,
the game plan in fight camp.
yeah, you're not getting into a bar brawl. Like you're getting into a UFC fight, like 3 5-minute rounds. Like good luck with these big guys laying on top of you and exerting their will. Have at it.
I believe Jeff Neal still successfully weighed in at
He did.
170 and a half,
He did. He made weight.
which is interesting. How many could he have done this other times before fights?
He could have been getting drunk, riding around with guns for before other fights. We don't know. That's the
What's he
thing. So
doing with the strap, dude? He's one of the great UFC welterweights right now. Like,
right, he's one of the guys, like an average size human, like you would see out in public and be like, ah. But then
you
like you
do
see what he
not
does in the ring, like, I'd never fuck with that
you do
guy.
not want to cause problems with that dude.
No,
You just saw him.
not at all.
Absolutely not.
I don't get the
I mean,
mindset.
like shit.
Not a lot of exchanges here early on, which isn't surprising. Guys kind of feeling each other out. Both these guys
Oh,
have enough power to put each other out early.
I didn't see an eye poke there. Regardless, got stopped briefly by Mark Smith.
Yeah, I mean,
Pons-
basically anytime anyone signals for it anymore, they get it. If you notice that, like it,
I
even
feel like
if like the ref doesn't see it, almost they'll almost inadvertently go and like double check. Like,
it's fair of the ref to give the benefit of the doubt in a quick
yeah,
points, but it's good. A quick decision is good.
yeah, as long as it doesn't like really like that one there, like he's quick, like all right, like just make
Definitely.
sure your
And
hands closed, like
Mark
it
Smith's
was a
consistent.
graze, like you're fine, like keep it going.
Yeah, he's consistent. We know. We've seen that. Jeff Neal looking very cocky right now, to be honest. Low guard. Um.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
I mean, it feels like he's starting to find his range.
I think he's definitely getting the rhythm. And that's where that confidence is coming from too. Oh, spinning back fist missed by Ponzinibbio. You don't necessarily want to get into a Muay Thai clinch with Ponzinibbio, though.
No, and that's the thing. Like a lot of these South American guys, their grappling skills are just so much better than almost all the Americans, even the top wrestling guys, because they're not used to the grappling standing up. They're used to rolling around on the ground doing it. So it's still a completely different game. Like they're not used to throwing strikes out of it, and that's a big thing. Like we see a lot of these guys. We saw even earlier where there's some opportunities to get some knees in and some other shots that can really be a game changer, and they kind of avoid that because their balance and whatnot and in the clinch, they're not as used to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, we got Jeff Neal with a couple shots. It looks like Ponzinibbio's bleeding out of the right next to that right eye.
Little cut. Nothing big yet, but obviously that can
Nothing
get split
huge. Nothing.
very easily.
He's
Especially once
open.
you go to the ground. If you start getting some elbows, that thing's going to be split.
Definitely.
That's where we see the big cuts usually with the elbows.
Uh huh.
And that's why I get real surprised when they don't throw the elbows in the clinch a lot too, because that can cause a ton of damage. And even if it's not a big blow, can cause the visual damage where you get those extra points from the refs or the judges. And we know how the judges have been in the UFC. Like if you get the guy bleeding, you're probably going to win the round more
Yeah,
often than not.
for sure. And you talk the visual damage. How many times have we seen doctor stoppages from a
Hmm.
cut so close to the eye, or an
Yep.
eye so swollen that the doctor doesn't think they
Yep.
can continue? I wish that happened in the Ortega fight, and I got the TKO bet victory on Volk. But it's all right. Herb
Yeah.
Dean kind of tripping,
He couldn't
but
see, but it is what it is.
he couldn't see. But it's okay.
I'm
But
pretty sure that was one where he actually said he couldn't see too. And I think that's
bro,
what it was.
I'm pretty sure I heard on air when that happened.
Yeah. I
Herb
can't
Dean
see.
said, "How many fingers am I holding up?" And he had one.
And he
And I
said two.
swear I heard Ortega say two. And
Yeah.
then Herb was kind of
Now
paused
there's a
a second, and he was like, "All right, Doc, he's good to go."
Yeah, this is just getting a little now he's walking away. What?
Yeah,
Who knows what's going on?
I didn't see that one, but Ponzinibbio looks like he's down bad from that.
Yeah, I think Brogan was saying you could hear that one. Yeah, that was clear. Clear as day. I mean, there's 15 seconds in the round, take your 40 seconds,
Yeah,
take a minute, take your breath. Once your pain goes away, just get back in there, send it, get into your corner.
looks like he's
Yeah.
looks
Just
like he's about good to go. Time in. Here we go.
so
Oh, he's not letting up now. He's unhappy.
I mean, no one's happy to get kicked in the nuts.
Yeah. Well,
You
good
see him
point.
stretching it out, moving it out, getting the blood flowing again. It's
Yeah,
smart.
he's doing some squats. Oh, these guys are banging towards the end of the round. Good stuff.
That's how you want a round to end, because
Yeah.
that's how you know the second round's gonna start out with
You
some
know,
bang.
yeah, the
They're
intensity's
they're
carry.
both in range. They both know where each other are. They know, generally, what they're feinting, what they're trying to do at this point. So that's where you start seeing things really, really opening up here, I think, in the second round. Maybe not super early in the second round, but I think it's really, really gonna open up that pace after a minute and a half or so.
Yeah, absolutely. How didn't that feel like a long round with those stoppages?
Yeah, I mean, technically 3
Well,
stoppages, even though, like, 2 were for, like, 10 seconds, but it just made it
right.
feel so much
It
longer.
makes all the difference,
Yeah. Yeah,
especially
decent
when
amount of blood. It looks like right above the eye.
yeah.
Just as like mine, like, right in there.
When he tripped on fell in the laundry basket.
Oops. Hey, it wasn't my fault.
I know.
But, yeah, I don't know. That spot's not too bad. Like I said, as long as he doesn't if you start getting elbows there, the blood's gonna start trickling into
It's
your eye.
almost
But the
it's
way the
almost like
cut
over
was
here.
okay. Yeah, it was just far enough to the side. His wasn't
They're not
too
gonna
far off
stop.
the eye. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Unless it starts gashing towards the eye and dripping down like crazy, but
Yeah,
whole
and
nother
we
whole
talked
nother
about the elbows being able to do that. I don't know if I see Jeff Neal being able to execute that kind of offense.
No, I don't really think that's his game.
No,
I
if
mean, maybe if he
I
gets on like, if he gets a knockdown and gets on top of the guy and rains him down, but I don't think he's gonna go take him down and go seek it out. No,
right,
that's
if we're gonna see any of that, I think it's gonna be from Ponzinibbio.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Guys are still moving really well going into the second round.
Yeah, no, neither of them look like they're tired at all.
Quick shout out to our sponsors, New York's only outlet liquor, your place to buy a freaking case.
Absolutely. If you're
What more?
stocking up for UFC 270, I'm grabbing a couple bottles,
Ding
maybe some
Ngannou
Proper 12,
gone?
Proper 12.
A heavyweight matchup, you're gonna need some heavyweight drinks.
Mhm.
That's a fact. Shout
I'm
out to
hearing
Smoke.
Lomachenko's absolutely smoking shit against, Kami right now.
What was that?
I heard Lomachenko is absolutely smoking Kami right now,
Oh, really?
per our Jordan Rosa.
Is that the main event?
I I don't think there's anything else besides that.
Okay. That's what yeah, okay. Shout out Jordan Rosas one time.
Yeah, he's got his scorecard 59, 55. I'm gonna
Oh,
go with him. Dude knows his boxing real well.
he does. He's the sweet science professor after all.
That is
And,
very
I'm sure he in a perfect world, he has a dual screen up and he's also watching some mixed martial arts.
I would hope so. I
Ponce
mean, Lomachenko is gonna run through that guy, so I don't know
big
why you
takedown. Now they're back to their feet here.
yeah,
Nice
quick
scramble
transition.
from that. Yeah, agreed. Oh, Jeff Neal with a left jab.
Is that enough for a takedown? I th
I believe so.
I th I but he transitioned it immediately and up, like, he didn't do
And it
anything, like, he
was
just laid
under
there holding it.
yeah,
It was like he held him down for a few seconds, but, like, he just held the same position, like, he didn't advance it, not one bit, you know what I mean? Like, he literally transitioned directly out of it.
who knows with these judges,
They
man?
might give him an official takedown, but,
You know as well
Lo
as I
Lom
do how shaky these
as I'm talking about it, Lomachenko gets a knockout.
oh, a knockout or knockdown?
Knockdown, knockout, I don't know. Down goes Comey is the tweet.
Wow. Be interesting to see where that goes. I've been
Yeah, a
in
lot of those fights, most of the time, like, unless you really get the top guys together, who cares? Because it's just, like, they're just fighting and wasting time essentially until they fight the top guys. So, like, when Lomo's fighting guys like this, who cares? Like, they're gonna win. Just show me the knockout.
right.
That's the problem with boxing right now.
Yeah, for sure. And, And the fact that there's so many different promoters and
Yep.
booking agents, and
Which goes completely into the entire booking of it
no
and getting
one
the matches set up and all that I'm
right,
talking about, where you're never getting the best versus the best almost ever.
right, no one can make the agreement to make the fight that people wanna see.
Yep.
That's where the UFC has the advantage. Every card is the fight that people wanna see,
Mhm.
and, then you have, revolutionists, as they call themselves, such as Jake Paul, claims he's reviving boxing. Well, this is weird.
The eye poke out?
I don't know, what's he oh, Ponzinibbio is bleeding on the other eye and the nose, I think. Could have a broken nose.
Yeah, he's getting jabbed up pretty well.
What was that little complaining stuff about?
I don't know. I can't tell. I can't. I think he might be saying like he got scratched and that's how he got cut. That would be my guess.
Yeah, uh, potential eye poke or scrape. Oh, Jeff Neal lands. Ponzinibbio goes down, but he's right back up. End of round 2.
Yeah, I mean, my guess would be he's complaining about getting scratched for adding to those cuts.
Right.
Like if you're just looking at everything, I don't know. Oh, yeah, that was a good jab before the end of the round there. Seeing it again.
Coach is getting in Jeff Neal's ear. Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, you got Neil up too. He
Ah,
needs this fucking round, but first
is
round was close. I would agree. It
it,
could be 1-1. This is what we were talking about
yeah,
earlier, where it's probably 1-1,
but you have to
but
go into it.
but it could be 0-2. So
You
go
have to go
into it
in.
thinking it's
You have
0-2.
to go into it thinking it's
Even
okay.
if it's 1-1, yeah. Go
Absolutely.
into it thinking it,
And
yeah.
and I think there's a good argument it is 1-1.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely. So if that's the case, like you have to go in no matter what, thinking you're behind. Because if you go in thinking, you're ahead, like you start sitting back a little bit and your opponent starts advancing things, they catch you once or twice, and boom, 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 you're on the ground, you sit on your back the whole third round, boom, you end up at a 10-8. And even if it was tied, that's just completely evaporated. You need to continue to advance things. It's the same thing sort of in football sometimes where a team gets, a 2 touchdown lead, starts sitting down a little bit too early, and they're playing the Chiefs and they get 2 quick touchdowns, and there's a turnover in between, and it's like 3 minutes later and it's a tie game. You can't
right.
let that happen. You have to keep your foot on the pedal.
And that's a not a bad position for Jeff Neal.
DraftKings
Yeah,
odds are basically even still live. Neil
I
a slight
saw.
favorite at 105 versus 130.
Yeah, I just saw that on the screen.
So yeah, it's probably 1-1 with Neil looking slightly better.
Oh,
So I kind of agree with those odds, but Ponzinibbio
oh,
striking early.
oh, he hurt Ponzinibbio a little bit, and that's not a bad spot for Jeff Neal to be in. He has the knockout power.
Yeah.
He's a guy that if that I would put trust.
Yeah, I don't think
Put my
Ponzinibbio
trust
is
in him.
necessarily like a
God beat
one-hit
down
guy. I think
those.
he needs to pile up some combos if
Yeah,
he's gonna put you out. So like, yeah, I favor Neil in this spot for sure.
and there hasn't been much ground fighting yet, and
No, at
it
all.
doesn't look like we're gonna see much actually.
Yeah, Neil's looking for that right hook like crazy now since he's connected on it once. Real nice.
I mean, man, Jeff still has the cardio for a guy that was driving drunk a week ago.
I don't know. Maybe he was just at a .08 and he just had like 2 drinks.
He
Who knows?
said
I
that
don't
he
know.
was like hungover or something.
I don't know. Who
Like
knows?
I could see it, but I doubt you were so hungover that you're above the legal limit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and if you were like, sheesh, like I've probably been there a few mornings, but God,
What is
sleep it off. You're a professional fighter, like you're rich, like sleep it off.
what's good over there? What? All right, that don't make sense. Ponzinibbio, the combination. Jeff Neal looks like he's bleeding under that right eye now. Folks, if you've been riding with Slick's picks tonight, you've been making money already. Sugar Sean by KO. Kaikara France, the dog pick. The parlay is 2/3 of the way there, and all we need is the GOAT, Amanda Nunes,
It's very true.
win her fight.
Slick's been hot.
And then the last one to go potentially undefeated on the night is none other than El Diamante. And it's been an action-packed card, folks. Prelims were great.
Oh, prelims were actually incredible. And this is one of the things, like we were talking about this card for a while, not just because of the big fights on it. Some of these other fights, just some good names, some people we wanted to watch, and they all delivered.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, the Miranda Maverick fight did not go the way we expected it to, but you look at it and now you've got a new contender coming out of that fight.
100%.
Love it, love it, love it.
Tai Tuivasa starting at a pick'em
Mm-hmm.
on the books and goes and makes a very impressive statement and then rips a shoey on the cage like we've seen in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Yeah, Neil's still just continuing. He's just striking with more power. You can see it. Ponzinibbio's taking steps back after a lot of these hits. Like
Yeah.
Neil, even when he's getting hit, continues to push forward.
Oh.
Ponzinibbio taking a step back, eating it.
Big combinations here from Neil. Ponzinibbio looks a bit wobbly on his feet.
He's been a bit wobbly for a minute.
Neil with the attempting the Stockton slap right there.
You expect the Stockton slap in more wrestling events than MMA events, but
We're right.
he did smack the shit out of his ear though. That was a pretty solid one.
Yeah.
It had the echo.
So it looks like unless anything drastic happens,
See,
these next.
yeah, to me, it feels like UFC knows what they have in Jeff Neal. He could be a potential contender, and they don't want to discipline him before anything happens. They're going to wait to see how everything plays out. I could see a suspension, but there's Dana might be smart for getting this fight in just to let it linger, let him get his suspension, take some time off, get his life straightened out, and get back to things.
For sure, Dana has a history of letting things play out in court before making a decision.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, obviously DWI and weapons charges are very serious, but in terms of things, it's not like he went out and did a violent crime. Like he wasn't doing anything against anyone else, and we'll see. Like I said, the way it plays out.
Yeah, for sure. So after that third round, who do you think?
Yeah, Neil took it there with that third round. I mean, when you're looking at the total amount of significant strikes, not that huge of a difference. But when you look at the effectiveness of those significant strikes, it was very obvious that Jeff Neal was delivering much more damage than Ponzinibbio was at any point of the fight.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he is getting in there with that left jab, and it just kept opening everything up with those right hooks, those bigger right hooks around, and that was really one of those things that was really helping out for Neal.
Absolutely. So if I had to guess, I think we're going to see some 29-28s here on the scorecard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, going with that overhand jab is something we don't necessarily see all the time. Like you're thinking of the jab, it's always that front hand most of the time.
Right.
But Jeff Neal going with the overhand from the back, that was what was open for him the entire time. With the way Ponzinibbio was opening up, he kept forcing to the right, towards Neal's right. So boom, you could slide that left jab in right between the guard, which is exactly what he was doing.
Yeah. And looking there at the significant strikes, Jeff Neal absolutely outclassing Ponzinibbio in that last round there, 43-30. Kind of assuring what we were just saying here. Looks like we're going to get a decision. Here's Bruce Buffer, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, the judges are all sorts of crazy, so you never know when you look at those significant strikes. One of those judges in that first round could have it either way. I mean, all three judges could have scored it differently. Some of them could have had a tie. Who the hell knows with these judges nowadays? Even though they're pretty much like forced away from doing 9-9s, but
Split decision.
that's exactly what I was just saying. Slick, I wouldn't be surprised.
Half Neal. He still takes it. Split decision. Tyree was right. Wow.
See, a 30-27 though, Neil. It was a 30-27 for Neil though. You know what I mean? Like how?
Yeah.
How does one ref or judge have it a 30-27 and then one has it for Ponzinibbio? That's what I'm saying about the subjectiveness
Yeah.
of UFC and MMA in general. But when you look at it, these judges are normally syndicated by the or sanctioned from the athletic commission. So the UFC, I don't believe, has any say at all over who the judges are. And
Oh, really?
we've heard lots of kind of talk and ideas about what they could do, but because of them having to still be sanctioned through the athletic commissions, it won't matter. Even if they wanted to implement their own judging system, it would still have to be approved through all the athletic commissions and blah, blah, blah. The athletic commissions want to continue to have reign over it the same way they did over all the boxing promotions, which is why they continue to do this. Most of these judges in these states were boxing judges who transitioned over. So they mostly don't know all that much about mixed martial arts. So that's why we see, like, especially at lower levels, just some craziness.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah, that's why with some of these fighters, when I see they're losing decisions, like on their come up, I'm like, yeah, I don't really hold that necessarily that much against them. If you get knocked out, it's a different thing. But the
Interesting.
decisions on the come up and the amateurs, it's a little different. Like you're not getting judges who've probably ever been in a fight before in their lives.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
Kayla Harrison's at the
Right,
fight.
that's what I was just gonna say to you. Interesting enough,
And then they show Rose right after.
free agent.
And then they show Rose right after.
But keep in mind, Kayla Harrison fights in PFL in
Up.
the lightweight division.
UFC doesn't have one.
155. UFC only goes up to 145 with these women, and supposedly there had been Dana
Rumors,
was
yeah.
in a press conference this week, and he said they've been talking to Kayla Harrison and saying, if you want to say you're the GOAT, come here and fight Amanda Nunes. I hope she comes. As our good friend Bunny, who might be joining us in a bit, was saying, I kind of agree with her. I feel like Kayla Harrison, in a way, likes dominating PFL, but
Bro, you get $1 million a year.
Exactly.
And she has a kid. Like she just had a kid recently. Like
Exactly.
you have to take the $1 million guaranteed payday. Like on
Exactly.
top of everything else, like the other pay from it, like you're getting the $1 million at the end on top of everything else. Like you
So
have
with that being said, do you think she comes or no?
unless UFC's promising a lot of money, probably like pay-per-view shares, probably like you would probably have to give her some to make it worth it.
Right.
Because realistically, like unless you're getting north of 500K, like why is it worth it? Like you go in, you lose to Nunes, your entire facade is gone of like your
Totally goes
greatness.
down.
Like
Yeah.
no one cares about that PFL women's division anymore at all. The only reason anyone
That's
cares
very,
about it is because of the way Kayla Harrison's been
that's a
running
very good
through
point.
it and how dominant she is.
That's a very good
So
point.
if you take her out of it and you give her a loss, like even if you bring her back, like who cares? You can't even justify paying that winner probably $1 million anymore, just in terms of like fan interest. Like the hardcore fans, yes, but like the general fans who tune in for UFC pay-per-views only, like you cannot sell them on Kayla Harrison off a loss in a PFL tournament. Like good luck.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she's a draw right now for them.
She is. I mean, I'll be the first to admit I tune into the PFL when she's fighting in the.
Her and Magomedov.
Yep, every time, and a couple others. Anthony Pettis, I'll tune into him every time.
Mm-hmm. There's very few people outside the UFC though that are worth it. Like Patchy Mix, I will obviously because he's a Buffalo kid,
AJ McKee and the
and
Bellator.
he's a real high ranking guy as well. Like he'd fought for the title not long ago. AJ McKee was up there too, like in Bellator. Like those
Yeah,
are guys like you have to watch, like keep an eye on
those are,
because they're guys who could cross over and
exactly.
not necessarily maybe fight for the I mean, not fight for the title right away, but they can fight probably some of these ranked guys right away and fare pretty well, if not win and, put their names right onto that pedestal.
100%. I think AJ McKee could come into the featherweight
Hmm.
division and maybe
Featherweight's pretty stacked right now.
imagine you put him against Ortega, like off that loss. You know,
That would be an insane fight.
I know that's not going to
Yeah.
happen. I don't think AJ McKee's contract's up till I want to say 2023, but like imagine just throwing him into the mix like that.
Hmm.
That would be, like you said, that'd be a sick fight. And
Absolutely.
we saw how Volk and Ortega went. Potential fight of the year until Chandler and Gaethje decided to steal the spotlight.
Literally, yeah.
So,
Hmm.
and things are looking up for the UFC. We have the GOAT returning in this next fight, facing someone who's been basically,
-9, what is she, -910?
I believe it's down to 1,000 at this point.
It might be. I wouldn't be surprised.
And she's fighting a woman that's basically been begging, I guess you could say, to fight her for a few years, somewhat.
Yeah, I mean, I would never beg to fight Amanda Nunes, but I
Yeah,
mean,
I
that's
saw, I
neither here
saw
nor there.
I saw a funny meme. Like, obviously, we've seen the press conference. She was doing a lot of talking. And then we saw the face off they did. And it was two different shots from the same face off. And it was her going into it smiling. And then the next one was her, like, looking worried. And it was saying, like, Juliana Pena realized right in the moment that she was facing Amanda Nunes. Like, she didn't realize she was facing her till she was right there face to face.
Yeah, then you see her and you're like,
And you're like, holy shit, this is happening. Like,
dude, Joe Rogan literally just said like 20 minutes ago, she looks like the most cut he's ever seen her. And
yeah,
he's commentated all of her title fights?
yep, believe so.
Yeah, good luck,
Yeah,
Juliana. Good luck. That's all I'm
I mean,
saying.
we saw what she did at her last bout at featherweight to Megan Anderson, who is a big gal. And then this, we have this at bantamweight, and like you just said, Joe Rogan's saying she's looking the most cut he's seen ever.
Yeah,
That's
good
something.
luck.
That's something to be said.
Down to minus 1100 now at BetMGM. Pena plus 650, not 600 to 650 now.
Wow.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. I mean, we saw it was like a $308,000 bet on Nunes to net like 25,000. Like,
What was the bet?
or it was what, 308,000 to net like 20 to win
Oh
25,000,
yeah, yeah, around like 30
something like
or
that.
something. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
It's,
stupid. Yeah,
but I mean, like looking at it, I was like at minus 900, I was like, I got to put 900 to win 100. I was like, I mean, it is free money. Like that is kind of just a handout.
for sure. Like I said to to you going into this, we have the parlay basically sealed, right? Because two legs down, third leg is the goat.
It's very true.
I like those odds.
Yeah, I mean, I'm never going to argue with him.
Do you remember what Amanda clocked in at odds wise against Megan Anderson?
Um,
I feel like that one was heavier in her favor, honestly.
no, I don't think. I don't know if she's ever been a bigger favorite than this, to be honest. Because Megan Anderson's a large,
Come to
like
think
she's
of
tall, like she's
it,
big. Like a lot of people like thought she could have a chance just because of the size. I
I
never
think
really
Megan
thought that,
Anderson
but
was like plus
I
400.
watched Megan Anderson fight Felicia Spencer in Rochester, and Felicia Spencer beat the absolute shit out of Megan Anderson. When I saw Felicia Spencer get her ass kicked by Amanda Nunes, I knew that no one on this current roster was going to beat her.
Yeah, right. And you were saying similar credible things about Aaron Blanchfield tonight, folks. Watch out for that girl. Ty B says
Aaron
she's gonna
Blanchfield,
be a
that's what I was saying.
champion.
Like, we got a contender there.
Ty B
Um,
saying she's going to be a champion one day.
I said the same thing, but yeah, I said Felicia Spencer, like she's a girl who's gonna fight for the title one day. Ended up fighting for the title. It ended up obviously against the most dominant champion we've probably ever seen in UFC history with Amanda Nunes, but she did get to a title fight. I said the same thing about Izzy when I saw him fight the first time. I was like, that man has it.
What?
He can do it all. And
Yeah, could you
when you
grab
see some of these fighters and they can do a little bit of everything, they can stand,
it's
they
on
can
the
wrestle. Um, Aaron Blanchard had that just absolute elite jujitsu. She's not even a black belt yet,
Yeah,
and she's
so
just
what's she, a black
dominating
belt,
on the
right?
ground. She's a brown belt. She's one step
It's
away.
incredible. And what do you say? She won that like jujitsu tournament or some
Yeah,
shit?
she won like some. She was like the youngest winner ever of this one jujitsu open tournament, the big jujitsu tournament in the world, as a brown. And she's only a brown belt. She's not even a black belt yet. And just think about it. Almost every single male UFC fighter, like, oh, black belt in this, that, blah blah blah. This girl's a brown belt. She's 22 years old. Um,
Statement win over
Yeah,
Miranda
beat
Maverick.
a girl who's beat Jillian Robertson already, who's been around for quite some time in the division, a decent, formidable opponent. She won her bout to open everything today pretty
That was a
easily.
really nice submission.
Yeah, and we saw what happened there. So we'll see.
So Juliana Pena looking more confident than I expected. But we see a lot of these girls go into it versus Amanda Nunes, and they look real confident until like a minute into the first round, and they realize the handful that they have in front of them. And here we go, folks. The GOAT is coming out in T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas. The lioness herself, Amanda freaking Nunes. Beers are cracking over here at Slick's residence. They're cracking at Ty B's too. This is a hell of a night. It's all I've seen on the weather app all day is 120% chance of slick. And the proof is in the pudding. Right here, this completes the parlay. And then Dustin gets this lightweight title. And we come out of this bitch undefeated, baby. Let's go. Oh, okay. We have an update, folks. 5 minutes until we're joined by the legendary Bunny at Boston Comments on Instagram. Huge MMA following. If you don't know, now you know. You'll love her when the stream's over. And here we go, folks. There is Amanda Nunes. Tybee, there's just something in the air when Amanda Nunes is fighting.
Yeah, I mean, you just know something special is going to happen. And I mean, something special is like her winning in the first round and just looking absolutely dominant, like an Amazon woman, damn near. And the
Right.
thing is, she's not even that huge. Like she's built like everyone else in the division, size wise. Everyone weighs in at the same weight. It's just like the mindset is something that you cannot teach, and it's we you talk a lot about a flight or fight response, especially with these fighters, and when you get punched in the face, like your game plan is completely thrown out. What can you do
Right.
once you get punched in the face? Manta Nunes welcomes that. Like that brings her more into the fight, I think, and brings more out of her.
Yeah.
And when you have a fighter like that, it's just very, very hard to beat when you're probably going to need to put them like under the ground to really finish them. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna have to put them out to really put them out.
Yeah. And I can't think off the top of my head the last time Juliana Pena fought a 5-round fight. Um,
I
so
don't
don't
know if she has.
right. So I'm not saying it'll even matter, but interesting. That alters your mindset going into the fight, knowing that you potentially have
Mhm.
to go 25 minutes with the so-called Michael Jordan of women's MMA.
She's won 12 straight fights. She has the most wins, most finishes at bantamweight in the women's division. Like she is the greatest women's fighter of all time. It's not even close. Like don't
Don't
even
even
bring
trip.
up another name.
Don't even trip.
There's nothing like you could put her arguably on the Mount Rushmore of mixed martial artist fighters.
In general, yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, just
absolutely,
in general, like
absolutely.
regardless of anything, like
She took
she's
out Ronda Rousey
insane.
in what, like 48 seconds?
What did she do to Holly Holm? Kicked Holly Holm's face off. A kickboxer. She kicked
Yeah.
her face off.
She hit Holly
Good
Holm with
luck.
the exact same kick that Holly Holm hit on Ronda.
Ronda, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Only
still remember that
way
Ronda
better
kick.
and
Oh
way
my
harder.
God. It was like my birthday. It was like my birthday weekend. I was in college and like we were all together. I was all amped up, like, and then that happened. And I'm like,
wow. Yeah, here we go.
like what?
About to hear from Buffer. They have the same reach. I did not know that.
It's time.
Amanda looks so badass holding those two belts. I would not. I would never say shit to her.
No. All I would say is, have a good day, champ.
I'd say right on, champ. Thank you.
Have a great day, champ.
You look good with those two belts.
Respect you, champ. Love you, champ.
Respect.
Oh, Slick, I don't know if you saw it. February 12th, the official date.
For 271?
Ariel just tweeted, upon further investigation, it's not official after all. Stay tuned.
Not official. The date or Houston?
UFC posted it.
The date or Houston is not official?
I think Houston. Because UFC,
well,
I don't know, because the post has the Toyota Center on it.
Well, we're going wherever the
so UFC, yeah. So UFC's posted it, and Helwani's now saying upon further investigation, it might not be official. So I don't know. We'll see what's going on with that. Who knows? Maybe there's an injury that popped up or something came out of the camps. Never want to speculate, but we'll see.
They were originally saying that there was a possibility they might go to Toronto. And how clutch would that be for us? Ship it over the border?
That would be incredible.
And then
I don't think that's going to happen just because
happen
Canada's either. Restrictions. Ontario has been very strict with everything in general.
For sure.
Obviously, things are more opened up with everything now.
I think the UFC returning to London in March, I want to say.
I'm not sure. I didn't see.
With a bunch of Brits, like
things are finally starting to open up a little bit, but I don't think you're going to see a ton of fighters from like really transitioning going over there to fight. You're going to see a lot of the British fighters and a lot of that, like a lot of the European guys. And like we saw that a lot even with some of the fight islands, where the fight islands were dominated by the European guys and the Asian fighters, as opposed to when we were seeing the Apex, where it was mostly just the American-based fighters. And we saw some of the fighters who were able to get over and like ended up like basing themselves here. A couple of them based themselves in Vegas after making that transition. But now everything, like it's thrown so many, monkey wrenches in so many people's lives, camps, and such. Like it's just,
and that's when shit hit the fan. And we were just hearing earlier before Tuivasa fought that he's been in Dubai since his last fight because he had visa issues trying to get back into the U.S. into wherever he trains out of to go train in the U.S. before his next bout. Just managed to figure it out. He got back, got that statement win. But yeah, these fighters are still dealing with travel restrictions, and the UFC is too as a whole. The Fight Island being secured, though, is a big power move on Dana's part. And that was revolutionary.
Absolutely.
When everything was shut down and Dana just said, fuck it. I secured an island. And
absolutely
going to go full blown.
It's like, peep the text I sent you real quick, though.
Okay.
But yeah, obviously the island was huge for them. And Dana figuring everything out, getting everything back and running was unbelievable at the time he did, and being able to take those sort of leaps of faith and figure things out and getting all the testing protocols in place. Yeah, unbelievable. Unbelievable, right?
Yo, damn. Yeah.
That's why when you were talking to me before, when I looked like I was talking and I was muted, yeah. That's what I was being told.
That's fucked up, man. But what else?
I was like, bro, I told you about it. And he's like, yeah, I told her. And I was like, why'd you go that way?
I'm gonna need elaboration on that a bit later. But
yeah,
Amanda.
Oh my god!
Amanda dropped Juliana
with one kick
to the mat
knocked down with a kick
within 30 seconds. So Right.
I think that was the first strike she actually threw too.
Yeah, we're here coming up now on 4 minutes.
Yeah, I think the kick was the first actual strike she threw that
Oh,
connected.
Pena with a combo, none of which landed, but
I mean, you got to at least throw something to try to win, right?
yeah, 100%. Oh, she drops her with another.
Yeah, that leg is probably done already. Throw a
Amanda's,
5-piece combo and not hit anything is impressive.
Amanda's picking her shots.
Amanda's already hit that leg probably 3-4 times solid.
Amanda
Just
looks like she's
destroyed
practiced.
it. Literally. And
Oh,
that one was a front kick and then a right.
oh my God.
That second one there.
She's gonna hurt Pena, dude. This is gonna be bad, I
I
think.
feel bad watching
Yeah,
this
I feel
almost.
real bad too.
This is like when you go this is like when you have like a lizard and you go and you buy the crickets as a little kid and you put the crickets in the cage and you know they're gonna die and you're just watching the
Oh,
crickets.
that's a wild reference, but I love it.
You get the little goldfish, throw them in your fish tank. Doop, gone. Yeah, no, not gonna happen. I don't think Pena's got any chance
So
here.
Amanda's got control now on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, DC's like, oh, Pena's got to show she can get on top of her. And it's not gonna happen.
Trying to transition to. Oh, she's got the back. Oh, I think it's over. Oh yeah, it's over.
Amanda's legs are
Over.
so ridiculously strong
It's
too.
over. Oh, she doesn't have it locked in yet, but I guarantee.
Like Amanda's not like overly thick or nothing, but like her legs are so
Oh,
strong.
she's got that tight on the cross face.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, who knows them?
The crippler crossface?
That looks really uncomfortable.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's not gonna put you asleep, but you don't want to sit there for a very
We've
long
seen
time.
guys tap to that before.
Yeah, it's happened.
McGregor even.
The neck, yeah, because if you get the crank on the neck on top of it, yeah,
Exactly. It's brutal. If you know how to apply that pressure correctly,
yeah,
good
because
night.
you're pushing the head back, and if you get the twist, yeah, it's not gonna feel very comfortable. Even if you can't get under the neck the way she wants.
Amanda's laughing. Oh my God. She's looking at her corner and laughing.
Yeah, because this girl thought she was gonna beat her up, and she's just
I know this is like, but this is incredible.
pushing
Like,
her all over. Was that some Green City slick?
yeah.
I can tell by the can, baby.
Spotted 2 of my cans tonight.
You already know me. Other half,
Yeah.
shout out.
Yeah. Shout out other half. Shout out our guy Dave.
Absolutely. Make sure you guys stop it. Whenever Other Half Buffalo's got those sales over at Seneca One Buffalo, make sure you guys stop
Right in the
there.
plaza.
Don't have to go.
One.
Don't have to go make the trip over to Finger Lakes. Don't have to travel to New York City. Perfect. And you get a big selection. It's not like you just go to Wegmans and you're just stuck whatever they got on distro from DC. No, you get the best from Finger Lakes. You get the nice fresh beers. Perfect.
They got IPAs on tap, 4-packs.
On deck.
You're right next to Salem Field and Seneca One Tower. Primetime Buffalo. It's what more could you ask for?
Yep. Hopefully they finally will eventually open a tap room like they're supposed to, but we'll see.
Also, shout out our guy Joe Cons at Seneca One.
Oh yeah, Seneca One doing big things, baby.
Absolutely.
Tons of great stuff going on there all the time.
So we're looking to close out the first round here. Amanda Nunes closing it out with some ground control and some body shots. Doesn't even look like she's trying to me. Oh, Pena.
No, I just started hitting her kidneys, started just wearing her down those last couple of minutes, last 2-3 minutes.
I'll give it to Pena. She's got some fight. She ended that round swinging, to say the least. Oh, she don't. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Looks all right.
first round, she made it through one round.
Amanda's smiling in her corner, though. That's what worries me.
Yeah, because she knows she probably really could have ended if she wanted. She probably could have just stood right back up, but she was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna lay on her, wear her down a little bit. I'm not gonna end it too fast." Like,
So that might have been her warm up.
yeah, Jordan, again, shout out again to Jordan Rosas. Perfect tweet right here. Amanda Nunes puts the art in martial arts.
Yeah. Wow. I couldn't have said it better. Shout out Jordan.
I'm gonna send Jordan the link right now. Actually,
Sweet science professor. Yeah, get him in there. If that, I would love to hear about that boxing.
because I think he's done. Yeah, I think he's done watching it.
Here we go. Round 2. Oh, we're on the feet. No strikes yet.
Yeah, I think they told Amanda like you got to go at least to the second round so we can get our Timex advertisement in.
So you can actually maybe get fight of the night.
I mean, she's not going to get fight of the night either way.
I'm kidding.
Like someone's got to fight her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like sure. you can get beat down of the night.
No doubt.
You know what I mean?
Pena actually connecting a few times here with some combo. Oh my God.
I mean, I think that's just going to wake Nunes up.
It's going to make her mad. Oh, she landed a 1-2. Oh! Oh my God. Oh!
Uh-oh.
Oh! Yo, this is crazy.
Okay.
Amanda's a little bit rocked.
She's definitely feeling it.
She felt that punch for sure, dude.
She's feeling it.
Holy shit.
That left jab was nice when Amanda tried to come over the right. The left jab caught real
Pena
nice.
hit her with a 4-piece.
Yeah, Amanda's fighting through it.
Oh my God.
Amanda's just trying to fight through it. She doesn't give a fuck.
Amanda looks all right, but at the same time,
I think Nunes wants this.
I've never
I think she's wanted this for a while. You know what I mean?
Like a challenge.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
she's just wanted to stand and throw with someone for a minute.
I feel
Like
that. Yeah.
she just pointed to the middle of the ring.
She's not slowing down. Yeah.
Oh, she dropped. She pointed to her mouthpiece.
She ain't slowing down.
Oh, no. If you're Pena, you just have to keep throwing through it. Like, don't even worry about the leg kicks. Like, you just got to keep throwing. And if you're Nunes, like maybe work the legs in a little bit more.
So, well, the question is if Pena gasses out after putting on this fury round 2.
I mean, we haven't seen Nunes go deep.
No,
at all.
A lot. We haven't.
So, like, what does she have? Like,
one
how
time
deep? She's been training, you know, for these quick fights.
Oh my God, she's connecting a lot. Oh no! Oh my God!
This is insane. Wow.
Oh, she's got the back. She's got the back.
Oh my God.
No, Amanda tapped. Amanda tapped.
Holy shit. What? She just gave her back so easily. She did exactly what she said she was going to do. She did exactly what she said she was going to do.
Al coming in.
What?
Al, what do you have to say, bro?
She did exactly what she said she was going to do, Al.
What did I say? What did I say? Do you believe in miracles? Holy shit.
What?
I mean, guys, I have
just
no
happened.
words. I have no words. The scene here, no one knows what's going on. Look around. I mean,
there's no one saying anything.
That's live.
No, it's speechless because I'm walking around like
no one's on the pool table. No one's on the card table. No one's doing anything.
She was
Oh my God.
pissing her off. Oh no!
I can't believe that one.
I mean,
Al asked this earlier, folks, and we quote unquote told him no chance that it happens. And here we are. And the last thing I expected Nunes to get beat by would be a submission.
She just gave her back. She didn't
She
even
gave
try to
up.
fight out of it.
Gave up.
Yeah, she
I
gave
don't know
up.
what that was. She was getting pieced up, and nothing is the same since. Look at Joe Rogan and Cormier's reaction.
This is what I say sometimes, Slick. Everyone's got a game plan until they get punched in the face.
I mean, how
She didn't even have a hook in. She didn't even have hooks.
So Al, I don't know if you were hip, but someone put $300,000+ down on Amanda Nunes to only win $30,000. So here they are now, down
$300,000.
something $1,000.
Well,
What was that, round 2?
Round 2, yeah.
I mean, imagine what Pena was in round 2. How much would that pay out?
A lot by submission.
By submission? Probably
a lot.
80-1. 80-1.
No, I don't know. About
I
maybe,
wouldn't be
actually.
surprised if it was bigger. It was
Maybe.
definitely bigger than 50-1.
Yeah, I didn't check those. But
Holy shit!
Wow, guys.
for the first time in a bit over a year or two, I don't even know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but first time in a long time, Amanda Nunes is only about to be the holder of one belt.
Juliana Pena came out to Puddle of Mud. Came out to a Puddle of Mud song, and she came out here and left Amanda Nunes in a puddle of mud.
I can't believe what we just saw.
Guys, I gotta tell you. So Goodwin was listening to the show earlier. He was on his way home, and he heard Slick Al or Ty B. It was one of you that said, Nunes like 15 seconds or 30 seconds, and he bet first round Nunes. So he was shredding right away.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Oh, here we go. We got the sweet science professor Jordan here in the building.
Fellas, what's going on?
The art and martial arts.
We need your reaction.
What the hell just happened?
That was insane. I mean,
Rose is going crazy. Oh my god!
I love good fights. I gotta say I'm a little disappointed just because Amanda's my girl. I'm not just an Amanda.
Didn't it feel like she just gave up there?
I'm an Amanda Nunes simp, and that was heartbreaking.
She just gave up. She got punched in the face a bunch of times in a row.
When it came to subs,
and went to the ground and gave up.
She got rocked. She took some hard shots, and then give credit to Pena because she just kept coming.
And then when it went to the ground, though, like Pena got right to her neck. It was Nunes gave it right to her, and she did not try to fight it at all.
Wow.
Pena didn't have a hook in at all. Like, didn't even get the legs around her. She literally just grabbed the neck, and it was a immediate tap.
You know what that kind of
reminded no fight at all.
You know what that kind of reminded me of? Glover submitting Jan Blachowicz.
Yeah.
Right away. Not much of a fight to it.
He just caught it, and they just didn't want to fight out.
The opponent knew they were beat. That's crazy, man.
Yo, guys, can we get some quick reaction from UFC Dave at this party?
Yeah.
What Dave got? Dave got.
Right so far, I love people that took Pena, even though Nunes was minus 900 plus. The value, you can't beat that. She's been surging. Pena has been on a roll, married, kid. She's tapering off. This is
out of one fight
time. She's surging. I can't wait for the rematch.
2-fight surge.
Let's go.
All right.
Give me the rematch. See ya, Al.
Let's go.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers to the rematch.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
I'll be back before the Poirier fight. I'll be back in like 10, boys.
Sounds good, Al.
Sounds good.
Jordan, we got to talk, though. Lomachenko fight. Loma, big win.
Yeah,
Easy
Jordan,
win.
Oh, it is a
fill me in. I
huge
want to
win.
watch, and I need to
Huge
hear.
win. So I mean, I'm loving fighting tonight because UFC Amanda
Great
Nunes is
night.
my favorite fighter in the UFC. Lomachenko is my favorite boxer. So it was a great night.
Yeah.
And it's been a month for lightweight boxing. I gotta say, there have been some really not just big fights, but really consequential fights. So Teofimo Lopez was fighting, and he had to take on his mandatory challenger, which was George Kambosos, a solid guy out of Australia, but nobody really looked at him as like a real championship
Yeah.
So we talking
level
speed
type
on
of
my
guy.
Aussies now, Jordan. I'm just
And the guy just took it to Lopez. Lopez came in, he beat Lomachenko a little over a year ago, and then just didn't defend his belt until just this month, and he lost. So now he doesn't have a belt. Lomachenko, of course, lost his belt to Lopez, so he doesn't have a belt. Devin Haney kind of has one of the like alphabet soup type of belts, we like to call them. And then Gervonta Davis, his championship claim is kind of disputed for similar reasons. Ryan Garcia took time away from the sport to deal with his mental health. So now you've got all these fighters that don't have belts, and arguably the most decorated, the least impressive among all of them is now the most decorated. So
Which
it's going
is
to be
crazy.
really
Yeah.
interesting to see what fights get made out of this.
There's gonna be a
This
ton
is
of
a controversial fight for Lomachenko because the fight went to decision. I thought he was going to get the stoppage. He didn't, which is significant because Teofimo Lopez stopped Richard Comey pretty early on. But now that Teofimo Lopez lost to Kambosos, he's lost a lot of
steam.
negotiating power. So it's gonna be a good year in 2022 for lightweight boxing. Hopefully, there should be some really good fights coming out of that division.
And that's what you want.
Two things real quick. Jordan, what you been up to tonight? You looking fly as hell, my guy.
I got a party I'm heading over to later tonight.
Oh shit! Out in
So
Hollywood.
I'm out here on the West Coast, so it's only 9 o'clock out here. So the night's still young.
That's the best part about watching the fights probably
My
out there.
guy,
It's like you can watch the fights and then do things after.
Right. And the other thing I have is how much legitness do you have for Ryan Garcia in this lightweight division of boxing?
How much what you said?
It's
How much do
legitimacy.
you believe in him
Yeah.
succeeding in boxing in the lightweight division?
It's Mayweather's protege, right?
No, that's
No,
Gervonta Davis.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
We're talking Ryan Garcia, the guy.
Okay, yeah.
he's with Oscar De La Hoya. Golden
Okay,
Boy.
yeah, that one. Yep.
The thing with Garcia is I believe that he has the tools to be not just a world champion, not just a star, but an all-time great. He's so big for that division. He moves so well. He's got speed and power, which is a rare blend. His technique is solid, and I like his attitude towards things. I just said for a while, and I called it with some people that I've talked about with boxing. I called it probably 2-3 years ago. I said he needs to make sure that he's got the right team in place because you get a lot of fighters that are from sort of close-ish to major cities, but not right in a major city. And so he's from not too far from LA, but not a driving distance. Kind of in New York terms, he's from, say, maybe like a halfway between like Rochester and Syracuse to Buffalo.
Okay.
But obviously more traffic in LA.
Yeah, more traffic in LA.
A lot.
But you'll see sometimes some of these fighters that they'll come out of, their hometown, their families, their trainers. So like for Ryan Garcia, like he grew up working out at home, and sometimes like we've seen Sean Porter, his dad was his trainer, ended up stopping the fight, and he retired as a result of it.
And then he blamed him, and his dad blamed him for losing.
Right,
He didn't train hard enough.
Yeah, you'll see these like father-son dynamics, and they'll be good to a degree, but not always all the way.
It's not always the best to get the best out of you because you have that familial relationship. Like you have to go back to your dad, like after the loss. Like you're gonna see him, at your family holiday dinner. Like whereas like anyone else, you get another trainer, like you can kind of keep that compartmentalized away from your actual life,
Yeah, and they'll talk about it all the time, is that when you have your dad in your corner, he's there as, I'm a father first and the trainer second. And, that can be good.
That's not the best mindset either.
Yeah, I mean, that's generally going to save you from getting a lot of unnecessary punishment, but that'll also lead to you getting pulled out of a fight that you might still have a chance to win. And so with Garcia, the other thing too you got to look at is these dads that don't have a ton of experience training fighters. Maybe they know a lot about it. Maybe they were former fighters themselves, but if they don't have that constant experience training
especially at
fighters,
top level. Yeah.
yeah, there's some inexperience there. And I think it was a great example was the Lopez fight where I was watching the corner and Senior was giving no valuable feedback to Junior. I mean, Teofimo Lopez, the fighter, he gets knocked down in round 1 and his dad's saying, "Come on, finish him off." And I'm saying, "Bro, your son just got knocked down. What do you mean finish him off? Like, you need to tell, hey, like, take this round off, shake it off, dance around a little bit, get your head movement, figure him out, and then we'll go for the kill." And so with Garcia, he's got a good family around him, but he's kind of settled down. Like I don't think he's married, but he's serious with a girl. I think they're engaged maybe. But he's a father now. And so a lot of kind of like grown up stuff
changes
he's doing
in
at a
real
young
life.
age. Yeah, a lot of changes. And he hasn't quite reached the highest level of boxing where it's like, it's one thing if you're 23 years old and you're already world champion and you're like, all right, I kind of know how things are going. But Garcia, he's not selling out to that degree yet. Like he's still good, big enough to be a headliner, but he's not necessarily like must watch boxing.
Yeah, he's not set for life with his family. Like he's still fighting for his family.
And the problem with him is that he's really good and really naturally talented, where he's nowhere near tapped into the full extent of his potential yet, but he's still so talented that he's good enough to get away with slacking. So that I'm not calling him a slacker, but I'm saying that temptation is there. So if you don't have people around you that are going to hold you accountable, not just to what makes a good boxer and a good champion, but the best that you're capable of doing, that's where you see a lot of guys that just never quite live up to their potential. They're good, but not all-time great. And that's how I look at Garcia. He's somebody that I think he's 5'10", 5'11", which means that he can. I mean, he's got the body and the bone structure that he could go all the way up to middleweight, super middleweight. He could challenge at light heavyweight. Even
how the divisions are so much closer weight-wise usually, as opposed to UFC where you're jumping 10 and then you're jumping 10, like 15 pounds over and over. And it's the same thing too in the corners. Like that's one thing I loved with the UFC over the past few years is getting those looks into the corners, hearing, sort of what they're saying. And Slick and I talked about it a lot today when these fights are, potentially 1-1 going through 2 rounds. What are those coaches saying? Are they, saying, you're ahead or, if I'm, one of those coaches, I'm telling them, hey, it could be 1-1, but don't go in it with that mindset. Go in, that you're down 0-2 because these judges can do pretty much anything in especially mixed martial arts because most of them were boxing judges to begin with. And that's how the athletic commissions have merged over and continued to maintain their control over everything. So when you look at it like that, like you need some coaches who are able to tell you and put these things into perspective for you. They can't, build you up too much within a fight. But they can also tell you what things are being effective, what things to go to. Hey, if you keep circling to the right and you're getting caught, stop circling to the right. Tell these people these things. And can your corner do that? Can they make those adjustments? Are they able to tell you those things in real time? And are you able, are you able to trust them? Are you able to process that in those situations? Because when you're in a fight, your adrenaline's running and all that other stuff. And there's so many other factors that I think a lot of people take out of it. And you have to have people in your corner that you believe in the whole time. So I think that's why a lot of people do like having their family in there. But like you've said, a lot of it does also take away in a ton of aspects. But here with Poirier and Oliveira, throw all that out because this is going to be in between the octagon. Like I'm not worried about the coaches in this one.
Yeah, both these guys are just such interesting fighters. Like Poirier,
he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but no one even talks about it.
Yeah, but even like his whole like enigma and attitude and the way he carries himself.
He feels like he's like a guy that I could run into at the bar and like have a drink with and not even know he's an MMA fighter. And then some shit pops off and like someone tries to like start something with him and it's like, boom. Oh, like,
man.
Good night. Like, oh,
I'm
sorry. Like, yeah.
It's
gonna be a fun one.
Yeah, I
need to go grab I need a fresh blue for this one, boys. Hold on, I'll be right back.
You do for sure. This
Yeah,
is
grab one.
crazy. Jordan, tell me what you're leaning going into this one.
I think I'm going to lean Poirier on this. Like I said, I like both these guys. They're so much fun to watch. Poirier is just there's almost like a level of like mental transcendency about him, where like he's still fighting. He's not like he's gotten to that point where like a lot of old fighters get to where they're like, you know what, I have nothing left to prove. But a lot of guys get to that point, and it's almost like a cop out for I have nothing left to show. You know what I mean? Like my skills have diminished.
Yeah,
where he's at that point where he's like, and not necessarily like a Mayweather aspect of like, hey, like I'm only coming out for $100 million. Like you're not going to see me, but I'm still in the spotlight. Dustin Poirier is like, I don't know, like he's still around, but he's like, I don't really need it. Like I'm here, and if I'm here, I'm gonna do it right. And it's an interesting attitude. He's just somebody that like he's not aggressive in the sense of like, I want this fight, I want that fight, I want this fight, I want that fight. But he's like one of those guys you don't want to double cross him. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
But at the same time, a guy like Oliveira, you know, he's got more power than he looks like a guy with his build would have. You know what I mean? He
100.
looks like somebody that's
sneakiest
going to want to dance around on the outside. But I mean, I rewatched the Chandler fight today, and it was just wow.
After
I mean,
after that first round knockdown, the power from Oliveira was insane.
Yeah.
Like he has this weird thing too, where like he hits a step back and uses that to generate so much power coming forward, which is like a super underrated aspect, I think, with a lot of fighters. Most of them don't have the ability to do that, or at least don't throw that strike very often, where he's athletic enough and can do that. But Al, you're back in here. You've been a big fan of Dustin Poirier. Money riding on him again?
Free money. I'm on Dustin right now in multiple parlays. Minus 140 to keep them alive. Yeah, all my money's on Dustin tonight. This is it. I have so much faith in this guy. I faded him, 2 or 3 fights ago. I'll never do it again. Dustin.
Yeah,
Dustin.
against McGregor, when I kept telling you, like, don't do it. Dustin's got way more power than McGregor does.
No, Ty B, I'll admit it. I was wrong. You were right. And I'm not effing up again with this. I'm riding with this guy.
He's got so much heart. It's so like I couldn't bet against him if I'm putting especially if I'm putting considerable money on this fight. I get why that's why he's the favorite, but I don't. This one is really is a coin toss because of the things the two of them do well. Like Dustin, yeah, he can go on the ground, like he can do things well, like he has a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but Oliveira has proven like he's the most offensive ground opponent in UFC history. He has the most submission wins. He has the most wins in UFC history. He's one bonus of the night away from tying Cowboy Cerrone's record for most bonuses. Oliveira is going to go down as possibly the most awarded UFC fighter in history. So betting against him in this is a tough task, but it's very possible. Poirier
And it
can
just shows you how good Poirier is. Him coming into this, the betting favorite, and the line that it started out as. I believe it was minus 159 when it opened up, something similar.
And how much of that though is just from people seeing, oh, he just beat the shit out of McGregor a couple of times, like public perception.
And you have to look at it that way in a way too. Does the book respect Charles Oliveira?
Well, I think
literally, yes.
Yeah, I mean, right? It's not like Poirier's a massive favorite coming in, where I was loving the money line on the McGregor and Poirier fight because I was like Conor McGregor, like I was like this guy's all hype at this point. I mean, he obviously kicked my ass, but
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was like, this
but he's
guy
not training on a day-to-day basis anymore,
right? You know what I mean? Like he stepped away from wrestling. He's doing his commercials, and all of a sudden, you get a lot of money, and
drinking whiskey.
Proper 12.
You know what I mean? Like
hitting old guys in the bar.
I mean, I can't blame him for
you reach a certain point in life where like you've got all that money set aside, and it's like the motivation to train and grind in the gym and put those extra hours in isn't quite there as much anymore. But I do think
the same thing with Nunes. She just
Yeah.
had a kid. She's gotten married, all that stuff. Same exact
Oh,
thing.
I loved her. I think it was her last fight where she had like won it in the first round, and they asked her like, "Oh wow, quick night," and she's like, "Yeah, well, we got to put the kid to bed, so I had to make it a quick one."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like,
casual,
she's got a
so-
lot more on her plate than she did, a few years ago, and that
Yeah.
could be a bigger factor than we even think about, and I think it probably was.
Yeah, well, I mean that's part of it too. I mean, as a new mother, you can't think of your training and sleep regimen the same way all the time because there might be nights where she's not getting the same amount of sleep she used to because you're waking up to take
Mhm.
care of your kid in the middle of the night, and all that stuff can affect you. And in addition to, shots accumulated, getting older in years and everything. But I still got all the respect in the world for her. She's still my girl. She's still my
We're eagerly awaiting the rematch.
I will be there. I love my son Amanda Nunes. I love watching her fight.
Both
Yeah.
fighters are in the octagon.
And that's the thing with Oliveira, I think with his training, like living down in Brazil, like he doesn't have as many distractions where he is, I don't think, like even though he is at home, but he doesn't have those same distractions as a lot of us do here in America. Like he does, like he's like going to the gym and he's training like 8 to 10 hours a day. You know how it is. Al, we got the dog there. What's the dog's pick?
This is Oreo, and he was crying at the bottom of the stairs because he's blind in one eye and can't walk. Come here.
Oh, what a great gentleman Degenerate Al is, bringing Oreo up the stairs.
Oreo is safe on the stairs, and we are getting ready for this main event. Let's go.
RL.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to see this if you weren't tuned in. So make sure you guys subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Follow us over on Twitter at Degenerate Zone for more Slick Saturday, every Saturday for his UFC picks, and a ton more. We're going to be breaking down a bunch of bets throughout every week, giving you some free money all over the place. And Bruce Buffer, it's time.
There we go. Herb Dean in the main event. Could that play a factor?
It could. Herb's usually fine, but
Usually.
we've seen him miss a couple things lately. But
Yeah, a couple.
yeah, he's tall. He should be able to see him.
All right, boys, I'll be back.
Can't really.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll be back. Say hi to Bendy and Poppy.
we got you, brother.
Yeah, this is going to be an absolute just slobber knocker, I think, here.
Yeah, this should be a good one.
Been waiting for.
Jordan, I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm pretty sure Slick and I are going to be in attendance for Adesanya Whitaker.
Nice.
Whitaker
the
did
plan.
just post on his Instagram an hour ago the same confirmation that it was going to be February 12th.
Well, yeah.
So that's
UFC posted the thing too, but then been seeing some things that might not be fully set in stone, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, until the UFC announces the location.
UFC did post it, and there was like a little Toyota Center graphic, but
Okay.
it didn't.
Did they delete it?
I don't think it said. Maybe they did. I don't know.
Okay, I'll check it out after. Either way, get me to fucking Houston. Throwing like my life mortgage on Robert Whitaker. Dustin.
Yeah, I think. No, it's up. It does say Toyota Center. It does say there is a link for pre-sale tickets.
No. Yo,
Yes.
look on Reddit for a pre-sale code.
I will do that. Shh! Don't tell everyone that I'm looking.
Yeah, true that.
Slick and I are also going to AEW in Cleveland, and I did find the pre-sale code for that.
Clutch as hell.
Got us some floor tickets for actual prices, $80. So that'll be awesome. But
We'll be documenting.
yeah, the plan is Slick and I are going to be vlogging the entire time when we go for this one. So
Yeah,
hopefully it happens the way it should.
a good time. Hopefully some
Odds going off at Poirier minus 152, Oliveira plus 110 live right now at the Creek. Doesn't sound right, but
Okay,
But
so
it is live. Already moved like that much with
that's
it just
about
going
right back
live.
to
So
where
we'll
it
see.
was. It's almost where it was originally.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. But a lot of shifting today on all these lines. But here we go, folks. Lightweight strap is on the line. I'm going to say now, I got Poirier round 3 or 4. TKO.
That's what I was gonna say. Like Poirier, I was gonna say Poirier 3, but yeah, if we're doing 3 or 4, I feel like that's feels about right.
Yeah, Poirier's been all about just wearing guys down now that he's gotten into these 5-round fights. Ever since he discovered that you can go 5 rounds.
Oh,
That's what I was gonna say. Whew. Ever since he's discovered he can go 5 rounds, he likes to slowly wear guys down and
Yeah.
get to there. So we'll see how that is.
But one of the things I liked about watching the McGregor fights is how calm Poirier's gotten in his stand-up game.
Yeah.
for sure.
You know what I mean?
Even
Like,
when he gets
he's
caught a little bit, like he just kind of eats it, and like he's smart about his next couple movements, his next few throws, and that stuff. Doesn't leave himself open to intake more damage.
yeah, like he doesn't let himself take a lot of big shots, but he lets his opponent land enough shots where a striking opponent gets confident enough to throw
Mhm.
big stuff, and then that's when he throws his counters
And
in.
opens him back up. Yep.
Yeah.
Big striking exchanges here. You have to wonder if Oliveira ultimately wants to get to the ground with this.
Yeah, these guys have both landed some huge shots
I mean, I think
already.
Oliveira knows his easiest route to victories on the ground. I would say so.
And I think Dustin's team knows that as well.
Yeah, and you're trying to avoid that probably at all costs, even though Poirier's like a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Doesn't matter. Like you still don't want to be on the ground with an offensive guy like Oliveira. Even if you're on top, like Oliveira could still threaten and still defeat you,
For sure.
which he's proven multiple times. Like,
Oliveira with Dustin pinned on the cage here.
yeah, Dustin's doing a good job avoiding those takedowns.
Maintaining- Oh, and he
Rolled
Oliveira
through it.
rolls and Dustin stays on top.
Rolled
And
through
now they're
it. Yep,
back on
rolled
the
through.
feet. These knees by Oliveira, man, they to the body, those gotta hurt.
They wear you.
They
Those are gonna wear your cardio for sure.
gotta hurt big time.
We've seen Dustin take a ton of big shots though in the past and just kind of eat him, and it does seem to wake him up. Oh, huge left. Yeah, Dustin's got his range for sure. They both have the range already. It's just gonna be a slugfest for now. Yep, it's gonna be a slugfest. It's gonna be a slugfest.
I mean, they're both throwing relentless.
Oliveira trying jump knees
Oliveira
already out of
down.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody wants to be the guy to back down first here.
No, this is not. Yeah, this is exactly what you want in a main event. Like this is how you sell the UFC to any fan in the world. Like
Yeah.
you show them what this fight's going to be and they're bought in.
Hey, guys, I gotta tell you, we still got a minute 50 left in this fight, and I'm
In this
already
round.
this round, and I'm already so satisfied with what I'm seeing.
Exactly.
Like this is
Oh my god.
insane.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
This is exactly what happened in that Chandler fight
yeah, you're right.
where Oliveira gets caught, gets knocked down,
and he takes the
sort of fights
guard
through. Yep.
and completely eliminates another shot.
Worked right out of it. Worked right out of
Look
it.
at that. They're back on the feet just like that.
Not a single soul sitting down besides the guys like directly next to the octagon. It's
Yeah,
absolutely incredible. This is what you want.
this is MMA.
Or you're just walking them down now. Those lefts are absolutely savage right now.
We might. Oh man. Oh, Oliveira's hurt. He's still throwing elbows.
This is exactly what happened against Chandler. The first round he got beat up. And then just came out with so much power, so much ferocity in the second round.
The difference is when Chandler put him down, there was no response shots from.
There's also no time left.
Yeah,
He ran out of time. Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
Oliveira looks like a bobblehead right now.
yeah. He's getting pieced up.
Oh, good return right. Oh, swear, yeah, this is exactly
Oh,
exactly what you want to see.
yeah. To quote Joe Rogan, this pace is insane. These guys are nonstop throwing.
And they fucking slap each other up, almost hug at the end of the round.
Yeah,
Crazy first round. DC couldn't set it better myself.
it's wild. And
Yeah, I mean that first round wasn't won until the last minute in my eyes, because that's when Oliveira really started backing off. I mean, he
Eating a
didn't
bunch
even
of
back
shots.
off that much, but it was just, it was sort of that like, who's going to be the alpha? Who's going to make the first step back?
And
And
Poirier's
it
walking
took
him down
it
there,
took
yeah.
4 minutes for one guy to finally say, "All right, I'm going to start fighting a little bit more defensively."
Yeah, that left and then that right really caught him good there.
wow.
Yeah, Oliveira constantly throwing those knees, which is a constant game changer. I think those are what's keeping him in this. I think if he
True.
wasn't throwing those knees, mixing those knees in there when he really needed to, when he's taking some shots to just push Poirier back just enough to where he can't continue those barrages, I think that's exactly what's saving him. Poirier is bobbing that head up. 56 head strikes in the first round. Yeah, that's a recipe for a concussion right there.
Here we go.
Tussin
folks.
smiling going to the
Two
round.
head strikes. Poirier's 56 to Oliveira's 29.
Almost doubled them up.
There we go. Touch up before the round starts.
Ton of respect between these guys, which is awesome.
Absolutely. And both, like we were saying in the intro show,
Oliveira looking to take him down early.
both very similar paths in their UFC career.
Both of them have been in the UFC for so long,
So
grinding.
long and are just now experiencing the success that they deserve.
Yeah.
Ooh,
And unfortunately, one guy has to lose tonight.
absolutely. Poirier working
Could be a draw.
You're right.
against the cage
You're
here. It's going to be tough. Oliveira looking to get the back.
I don't know. I don't really see this going the distance though.
Yeah, I don't either. Dustin, great takedown defense.
Oh, good defense, but the arm, watch out.
Oliveira
out of there.
on the ground. Oh,
He doesn't have it. He doesn't have it, but he's grabbed the arm.
He's got the hand.
Roll away. Yep. There you go. But he gave up position.
I feel like he's grabbing the glove.
Gave up position, though. I thought he had his hand in the glove.
Oh, what is it? Oh, no.
Let's see what the jiu-jitsu is on the ground here from Poirier, because he's going to have to fight out of this now.
Back, yeah.
345 on the ground. That's going to be tough. You're going to have to fight out of it.
Tough.
He does not have an easy out towards the cage either here, Slick.
Not one bit. And he has the full guard, but we know what Oliveira is
Yeah.
a specialist.
Trying to wear on him, trying to cover the mouth, trying to throw a little bit of elbows in there, make it real dirty for Poirier, trying to give himself some space here, trying to get Poirier to relinquish that grip around his back here so Oliveira can get some space.
Poirier has a leg triangle, but it's not doing him much good at the moment.
Besides, yeah, it's just holding Oliveira in place, which is not giving him too much room, but now he doesn't have that full grip around the back. Oliveira getting those elbows off.
Mean elbows by Oliveira.
Yeah, if you can't hold them in, which you're not going to be able to do for a full 345, which is what I'm saying, you're not going to hold them in tight. You got to move. You got to transition. You're not going to be able to keep that leg triangle in for 3.5 minutes here.
Yeah, you got to scramble. You got to find a way.
You're going to have to start kicking off the hips here soon.
You got to take
because you cannot sit in this position.
I'll tell you what.
I think Poirier's trying
to. You called the comparison to the Chandler fight, and I mean Oliveira came out in this
doing
round.
the exact same thing. Yeah, it wakes him up. Getting punched wakes his wrestling up. He's like, all right, I can't just sit there the whole time. I want to. I wish I could, but I can't.
And that's such a crazy thing for fighters. Like, there's some guys that are like that. Like, they got to get hit to wake up, and it just goes to show like the special type of person that it takes to be a pro fighter. Like,
you have to be a
these are not normal people. Yeah,
you're a crazy son of a gun. Seriously, like
you got millions of people watching you get your ass kicked.
You got to be a little messed up in the head.
Yeah.
No, it's funny doing profiles on fighters and whatnot, because you just see like every single one of them has some crazy stuff in their backstory. Like, there's no just like
normal people. Really.
There's nobody that just walked into a gym one day and got the crap kicked
was
out of
like-
them and said, you know what, I think I'm going to do this again tomorrow.
And it's
You know,
like,
they,
hey, how's it
everybody's
going?
got
I would
something
like to-
inside that says, nah.
Yeah, that
Hey, how's
pissed
it
them
going?
off
I'd
and like
to
made
try
them want to
my
kick someone's
hand
ass.
in MMA.
Yeah. My dad's an asshole at home. I want to go to the gym so I can get my frustration out. That's what you hear most of the time.
John Jones tweeting live, man, what a fight. Both these boys going to be so sore tomorrow. Hey, John, I'm a fan.
John won't be because he's probably going to be
I'm a
fucking high as hell.
I'm a fan, John, but dude, get back in the octagon, bro.
Stay
Please.
off the schneef.
Please. We need it for the culture. Winner of Ngannou gone.
Oliveira's doing a great job here, just wearing on Poirier. He might not be doing a ton of damage, but what he's doing here, covering the face, making things really, really, just
Yeah, he's been pretty
painful
active with
for
those
Poirier.
fingers this round.
Covering the face, working the face, throwing it into the neck when he gets a chance, face washes, all that stuff. It just makes things very, very unpleasant to be on the bottom, and it creates more space for Oliveira to drop those elbows, which we've seen more of as this round is kind of drawn on.
And it looks like there may be some swelling in that left eye of Poirier. And
I can't believe that we haven't seen like gushing blood yet.
No, because he's not. Poirier's doing just enough. He's got a high enough leg triangle. He slid the triangle up enough to where Oliveira wasn't able to posture up to really drop those elbows. He was getting real short elbows and just couldn't really get more than a
beating
couple
on
elbow
that
drops.
nose. I would have thought there would be some blood by now.
Poirier was bleeding out of the nose after the first round. Doesn't look like he's even bleeding at all right now.
so we got to think after that round, it's 1-1.
Yes, it's 1-1.
Yeah.
Unless this is a 2-point round for Oliveira, because it's been.
It was 3.5 on the ground, but I don't think he aggressed enough.
He had the control time, but he didn't have the offense.
Yeah, the aggression wasn't there
to make it a 10-8, in my opinion.
Yeah, you really got to be working down there to make it a 10-8.
That's one of the things I hate
Or
about
multiple
combat sports
takedowns.
scoring is judges are so hesitant to give
It's
out
so
2-point
subjective.
rounds, and it means that like you can really have some close
Yes.
landslide wins where one person beats the crap out of somebody for a round and it's
Mm-hmm.
and
And then the other 2 rounds are like very
round could
close.
go either way, but
Yeah.
one just happens to pick it for the other fighter, and all of a sudden it's a tie fight.
That's exactly what I was saying about like why you have to, in your corner, they have to be telling you it could be tied, but I think you're down. You know what I mean? So that they're playing from behind rather than, hey, I'm trying to
It could be
save
one
a win.
You got to.
It could be another toss up, round, and then you end up losing 2 toss up rounds and you lose the fight, even though you dominated the shit out of one round. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It's not a 1-round fight here.
yeah. I mean, I think that we're kind of in agreement. It's a 1-1 fight, but in my opinion, Poirier's only had 1 minute of 10 so far that he's definitively been the better guy. I think the first 4, was so back and forth. It was tough.
Oliveira's taking it
to
to him
anybody.
immediately too.
And Oliveira just dominated that whole round pretty much. Maybe the first minute was kind of back and forth, but
not good here. If
Oliveira getting the back, that would not be good. You got to shake here, but you don't have a ton of room to really try to shake him down. And he's got the triangle. That's not good.
No.
Yeah, this is a very, very, very bad position. You're not going to slide him off. He's got the full leg triangle,
it's
and
in.
you're up against the cage.
It's in. It's not under the chin. Oh, no.
It's not under the chin. It's not under the chin.
Dustin's still defending.
Yeah, it's not under the chin.
It's across the face right now. It looks tight, though.
Now he's got it. Now he's got it. Now he's got it. He's fighting the hands. It's done.
Oh, it's under.
He's got it.
Oh,
He's got it.
done.
It's done. It's done.
No.
Good night now.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Good night now. Charles Do Bronx Oliveira. And still, what a fight.
Wow.
Oliveira, again, what happens? Gets beat up in the first round, comes back, uses his jiu-jitsu, uses his wrestling, uses all those other aspects other than his stand-up. It was a stand-up submission, actually. So his stand-up game is better than Dustin Poirier's still, just like Oliveira said. I mean, in the pre-fight thing, I thought he was joking when he said his stand-up was better. He just proved his stand-up was better by choking him out, standing up.
Wow.
Gaethje is a gasp. Gaethje doesn't even know what to say. Gaethje got beat up by Poirier, and he's like,
Gaethje knows that.
I'm going to get my shit choked out.
Yeah. Time's a coming.
Wow. As soon as he got that, see, the thing is he gets the back, but what sold it, as soon as he gets that leg through Poirier's legs, locks his second leg around, so he's fully hooked. You're not sliding him off your back anymore.
No.
So you're completely, it's just hand fighting at that point. And with him fully on your back, all the pressure on you, it's just a matter of time. You have to fall back and try to do something there to throw him off. Like throw your weight back on him and try and squirm around, or else you're out exactly the way that just happened.
Well, one of the ways that Poirier really kind of screwed himself is he stood still for so long.
Exactly
and
what I'm
that
saying.
allows a guy with great body awareness
As
like
soon as
Oliveira
he
to
started
feel
to get
where
the back, you have to shake immediately. Try and get him off immediately. There's no 2 seconds like I'm giving it to him. No, because that's where he slid that leg in between his legs and then got the other leg around to lock in that leg hook. Those leg hooks are going to save you every single time. We saw it happen earlier in one of the fights where one of the girls had a great position and then just got shook right off from the back because she didn't get that leg hook in time. If you get the leg hook in before you get the arm hooks in, it's much more effective.
Because I used to do a lot of stuff like that when I wrestled. Not that I was, UFC level or anything like that. But when you're going for those more like risky type of holds and whatnot, there's moments where you're very off balance, you're very vulnerable. And if a guy's moving around, that's when you're going to get shooken off. But if a guy's staying still and staying put and just kind of basing themselves, trying to stand up against your weight, that's when you can do all kinds of stuff. And that's exactly what
Especially for a guy like Oliveira.
Right.
His balance and all that
his reach, 5'8" with a 74-inch reach. that's insane.
Yeah.
5'8" with a 6'2" reach. That's you can't give a guy like that room to move around because he'll tie up like an anaconda, and that's exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And we see here Herb Dean about to hold the hands up, baby. Love to see it. Slick. Oliveira and still,
crazy,
baby.
Man, crazy upsets tonight. And it's crazy to say that it's an upset for the champion to defend, but here we are. Do Bronx looking dominant in that fight against Poirier. And Poirier,
he's got a little rock. He's got a rock in his hand. He's got a little lucky rock in his hand.
What the hell?
And he's rubbing it all over the belt. It must have been blessed by someone. I don't know. That his camp is going nuts right now.
Yeah, they're going crazy.
All with the bleach blonde hair, just like him. I love it.
Oh yeah, it's great, man. You love to see it. Like this guy's came from nothing.
Literally nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, out of nowhere, Brazil, like from the slums, basically.
After
He's
10-year
become
grind,
a UFC champion. It's
11-year grind in the UFC, and here he is, top of the lightweight division.
Do you think Slick? You think he's getting another bonus here?
Yeah.
If he gets the bonus, he ties Cerrone's record, and now he's literally at the top of every single UFC record in history. He has 20 wins by submission in his career. His most UFC wins by submission in the history of.
You got to start talking about this guy in like great conversations.
I love that,
if he can beat a couple more guys, like he can be in a GOAT conversation.
I love that they asked the translator, "Hey, what did he just say?" And the translator asked Oliveira what he just said. And I'm like, "Didn't you just hear it? Like, you can't just say what he said."
Half the time they're like, it's weird because like half of them they're just translating what the fighters are saying because they do understand English, but they just don't feel comfortable enough. And I think that's where Oliveira is. So that's why that's where you get those.
Well, it was like they asked the translator, "What did he just say?" And the translator turned to him and asked the question.
Asked him again
to him instead of just translating what he had just said. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if Oliveira knows English very well. I don't think he does because you get the translator.
No, he doesn't. Yeah.
Most of the time they respond right away, but yeah, Oliveira. And another thing, I hate when people are like, "Oh, the UFC champion needs to speak English." Who the hell cares? We got translators for a reason, my guys.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, we got translators. I do the speaking in the cage.
Right.
Yeah.
Best people in the world, best team in the world.
Okay, so now we're looking at Do Bronx gonna go on probably to defend this 155 belt against Justin Gaethje.
Absolutely, it's got to be Gaethje, and Gaethje's there. They showed Gaethje. Gaethje was literally speechless. He
didn't look very
Excited to have to fight this guy.
excited. Yeah. Oh man, if I'm gonna be honest, he looked a bit shocked and dare I say
Shell shocked.
dare I say worried.
Yeah, shell shocked is the perfect way to put it.
I would be too.
I would not want to step in the cage with Charles Oliveira. I would not want to be in the bar with him just in case he got mad while he was drinking. Just in
I'm
case.
sure he's a good
He's
blow.
probably a good guy, but like just in case someone said something wrong to him and like they ducked and
Well, he's
he hit
such a
me.
good-looking dude too, for like a
He
UFC fighter that
Yeah.
really
He doesn't
is
look
not
like he's
afraid of
gotten as much
contact, you know
damage
what I
as
mean?
most of these guys.
Yeah.
Those teeth are crazy.
Yeah, and
The
he's
teeth,
got like
the cheekbones are in
35,
line. Doesn't
he's
have
got
a
like
ton of
35
cauliflower ear. You know what I mean?
35 to 38 career professional fights and still looking pretty decent.
Where like you look at Dustin Poirier and like you look at his ears and you're like, all right, this is not somebody you want to mess with.
And you could tell he's got some scars on his face. Like he looks like he's
yeah,
been in a
like
fight.
he looks like somebody's been in fights.
Yeah.
Or Oliveira, if you looked at him and you were like, oh yeah, this is like a movie star, you'd be like, oh yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, like, oh, he's in this or that. Oh, sure.
Wow.
That's
What a way to end the night.
absolutely. And we don't get another run in from Degenerate Al. I wonder why.
I wonder why myself as well. Just kidding. I know, but anyway,
I tried to, throw caution to the wind to everyone on this one that I saw a recipe for both of them for success. And when you see that, like it's very tough. And it's exactly, the first round that Poirier would have wanted, and it still didn't go his way.
yeah, and literally slipped right out of his grasp, and Oliveira did what he does best.
And he puts his glasses on and he's right back being Superman in his, normal work outfit.
What a night, folks.
Give him props, yeah.
Absolutely.
If I had to say craziest moment of the night, Amanda Nunes only holds one belt now. That's
Did
crazy.
Shevchenko beat her now?
Huh?
Does Shevchenko jump up and fight her again?
Nunes?
Is that the fight to make?
I heard Dana said he's not interested in the third fight for that. But
I think that changes everything.
I think it does. I think it's a lot easier to sell now because Nunes sort of showed a chink in the armor.
And people are pretty high on Shevchenko.
What if
even though she's Russian?
Shevchenko versus Pena. Bantamweight. Title.
I mean, you could do that and then
35.
give the winner to.
Shevchenko wins that. She's got 2 titles as well. You're forced to fight Amanda again.
I mean, that's probably the best bet because if Shevchenko wins that, she's got a stronger case. Is like, she can actually beat Nunes. Or, if Pena wins, then it sets up the rematch as like more exciting. Mm-hmm. Whereas, the rematch between Pena and Nunes is kind of like a lock either way, just because there's so few, errors on Nunes' record that, you know what I mean? It's like, even if Pena lost her next fight, people would still want to see Nunes get a rematch and revenge. So,
yeah, agreed.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a ton of fun to watch over these next few months with what happens in the UFC. So that's why you guys got to subscribe here. If you're watching over on YouTube, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell so you get notified whenever we go live. Slick and I are going to be doing a bunch more of these watch alongs. I'm sure Jordan will be down to join us on these as well. He's always around. So he's watching Lomachenko and it ended. So I was like, we got to get him on here. I know he's got a bunch to add. So Jordan, thank you for joining us as well.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so we'll be bringing Jordan in a bunch. Jordan does a bunch of writing for us over on trainwrecksports.com as well. So make sure you guys are checking that out all the time. Follow us over at Degenerate Zone on Twitter. Slick's picks every Saturday. So even on the fight nights, if we're not going live, Slick's giving you a bunch of free money. He's been very hot lately. So hopefully we'll keep that going. Parlay ended up losing. We don't want to talk about that. But the dog did hit. So that's a big one for everyone. Slick, can't be feeling too bad after tonight. How you feeling? Wrap it all up, sum it all up in a few sentences for us all.
We made the money we needed to with the plays we needed to. Some didn't work out, but overall, I couldn't have asked the UFC for a better card, pay-per-view card to close out the year. And we have much, much, much fights to look forward to in the future in the UFC.
Absolutely. A ton of big fights coming. Obviously, UFC 270 with Ngannou versus Gane is going to be coming up very soon. So we'll be back for that one for you guys. Slick,
And as of recently announced, 271, most
I
likely
was
in
going to get there.
Robert the Reaper Whitaker taking on Israel Adesanya, trying to get his belt back,
hmm
which he will. Mark my word.
February 12th, we're hearing right now. UFC's announced it.
And we might
Houston,
be there.
Toyota Center, Slick and I should be there for that one. So we'll hopefully be able to bring you a bunch of content from there. So that's the plan for that one. So make sure you guys stay following us for more. Shout out to everyone who tuned in. Shout out to Jenner Dow for hopping in. Shout out to Jordan for joining us. For Slick and Ty B, only got 3 words left. Good night.